Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita Adi Lila chapter 10 text 50. Pratigraha nahi kare na layakar dhana atma vriti kare kare kutumba bharana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Murari Gupta never accepted charity from friends, nor did he accept money from anyone. He practiced as a physician and maintained his family with his earnings. So we are continuing to hear about Murari Gupta. He was a physician, he was a doctor. He did not accept charity, but he continued in his profession, Atmavriti, own profession. It should be noted that a Grahastha householder must not make his livelihood by begging from anyone. So a Grihast has to work. Grihast, he has to work to maintain his family. Every householder of the higher castes should engage himself in his own occupational duty as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, but should not engage in the service of others, for this is the duty of a Shudra. So, of course, right now the society is not so clearly demarcated as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, but it's only out of, but this, because the gunas are there and we work according to our gun. So we cannot totally disregard that, yes, some have Brahminical qualities and so they may be engaged as teachers, studying. And then some have the Kshatriya qualities, they are more engaged in administration, leadership, management. So these things are there. One should simply accept whatever he earns by his own profession. The engagements of a Brahmana are yajna, yajana, pathana, pathana, dan, and pratigraha. A Brahmana should be a worshipper of Vishnu, and he should also instruct others how to worship him. So really the duties of a Brahmana, they are the six uh, activities a Brahmana engages in. He worships the deity of Vishnu. That's why he's called a Brahman. He's understood the Brahman. So he engages in worship of Vishnu, or he teaches others how to engage, instructs others how to worship Lord Vishnu. So he does deity worship himself, teaches others how to worship the deity. A Kshatriya can become a landholder and earn his livelihood by levying taxes or collecting rent from tenants. So Kshatriyas, the kings, they had a lot of land, they would collect taxes. And so here, even the landlords are coming in that category. A Vaishya can accept agriculture or general trade as an occupational duty. Vaishya is um, farming, agriculture, trading, banking, all that comes. Cow protection. Cow protection is the main duty of a Vaishya. We hear in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if somebody is doing general trading, all that comes under Vaishya category. Since Murari Gupta was born in a physician's family, Vaidya Vamsh, he practiced as a physician, and with whatever income he earned, he maintained his family. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, everyone should try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the execution of his occupational duty. That is the perfection of life. This system is called Devi Varnashram. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to establish this Devi Varnashram. And what is this Devi Varnashram? That we engage in our duties. We cannot prematurely give up our duty. Prematurely, it can never be given up. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to establish this Devi Varnashram. Everyone performs their duties execute their occupational duty. For what purpose? For the satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, you fight for my pleasure. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you do your duty. Arjuna didn't want to do his duty. He wanted to retire prematurely because of weakness of heart. But Krishna, through Arjuna, is instructing us also. Don't give up your duty. You are not yet fit to renounce the world. Do engage in your duty. At the same time, you do it for my pleasure. Do it for my satisfaction. This is perfection of life. Not artificial renunciation. Many of us, we think that, oh, I need to give up everything, and then the whole only thing I'm going to do is um, hear and chant. No, Krishna never wants that. Srila Prabhupada does not want that. Bhagavatam does not want that. Why? Because they understand that we have certain psychophysical natures, we have certain duties, we have to maintain the law and order in society. Society has to function in a healthy fashion. And at the same time, we have to cultivate our spiritual knowledge so that at the end of life, we can go back home, back to Godhead. So this is what it is. Perform our duties for the satisfaction of Krishna. Murari Gupta was an ideal grahast, for he was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By practicing as a physician, he maintained his family and at the same time satisfied Lord Chaitanya to the best of his ability. This is the ideal of householder life. So this is what we can do. We do our duties, what we are doing for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Maintain our families for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is ideal householder life. Reading on. Chikitsha karena yare haya sadaya deha roga bhava roga duitara shaya. As Murari Gupta treated his patients, by his mercy, both their bodily and spiritual diseases subsided. Murari Gupta could treat both bodily and spiritual disease because he was a physician by profession and a great devotee of the Lord in terms of spiritual advancement. So Murari Gupta, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. He's an associate of the Lord. He's Hanumanji himself. But what is he teaching us? That not that if someone is taking part on the spiritual path, we completely disregard the body. No, he's a doctor. Doctor means he's a physician, which is treating the physical disease of the body. So it's a reality. We are in the body, and the body gets subject to diseases, and we need to keep it healthy. So, but Murari Gupta is a very special physician. What? He cures not only the bodily disease, but because he's a great devotee, he could cure the spiritual disease. This is an example of service to humanity. Everyone should know that there are two kinds of diseases in human society. One disease, which is called adhyatmika or material disease, pertains to the body, but the main disease is spiritual. Adhyatmika, material disease. We have, just now we are coming out of the pandemic. The whole world was in the grips of this disease. So it's there. But the main disease is spiritual. The living entity is eternal, but somehow or other, when in contact with the material energy, he's subjected to the repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. Somehow or the other, we have come in this material world. We have forgotten our true identity. We have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. And now we are thinking we are matter. We are product of matter. We are thinking this consciousness that we have, that is a product of matter. And now we are subjected to birth, death, old age, and disease. The physicians of the modern day should learn from Murari Gupta. All the modern philanthropic physicians open gigantic hospitals. There are no hospitals to cure the material disease of the spirit soul. The Krishna consciousness movement has taken up the mission of curing this disease, but people are not very appreciative because they do not know what this disease is. A diseased person needs both proper medicine and a proper diet, and therefore the Krishna consciousness movement supplies materially stricken people with the medicine of the chanting of the holy name or the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and the diet of prasada. So Prabhupada is saying, although there are these modern science has done so much service to humanity, so much. There's so much advancement in material science that otherwise a person could have their quality of life would have been seriously affected by disease. But now, due to all this advancement, we get cured of so many disease. But also, what is needed is curing of the spiritual disease. And the spiritual disease can be cured by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and by accepting Krishna Prasadam. Proper medicine and proper diet. The medicine is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and the diet is Krishna Prasadam. And in this way, our spiritual disease will go away. Right now, we are thinking we are the body. And so by chanting Hare Krishna mantra and having this diet of prasada, we will be cured. There are many hospitals and medical clinics to cure bodily diseases, but there are no such hospitals to cure the material disease of the spirit soul. The centers of the Krishna consciousness movement are the only established hospitals that can cure man of birth, death, old age, and disease. So Prabhupada would say, yes, our ISKCON temples are like hospitals. We go to a hospital to get cured. So Prabhupada would say that our ISKCON, our Krishna consciousness temples are like hospitals, and it can help us to cure this disease, this material disease, this spiritual disease that can help us to cure, put an end to birth, death, old age, and disease. So by hearing and chanting, we continue to hear and chant, and we can be cured of this disease. And Krishna Prasad. Did anyone want to add or comment anything?
So Murari Gupta was doing all this.
Yeah, Murari
Okay.
Gupta, he's a doctor, but he's a pure devotee. So whoever would come to him with their physical complaints, he would cure them, but also he would give them the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how he was curing the people physically and spiritually, materially and spiritually.
Okay. And then they are telling that the movements are the only established hospitals that can cure men of birth, death, and old age and diseases. The Krishna conscious centers are the only established hospitals, right?
Yeah.
This is
That,
very
so hospital for what? To cure what? Birth, death, old age, and disease.
disease.
Yeah. So this is Krishna conscious hospital can cure us of this. Because when we go to a normal hospital, then yeah, of course, our material disease we get cured, right? But they cannot give us how we can stop getting old. We are getting old. None of us want to get old, right? But they can't help us. Sure, we can do some artificial things to look younger, but cannot stop the old age. Death cannot stop death. Birth cannot stop. If we die, we have to take birth again. But when we take up Krishna consciousness, we can stop all this. We can go back home, back to Godhead. This is what Prabhupada is trying to say.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.